What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Let's Talk Boxing, Volume 2. Let's talk about it. It's a series that I created where we can go into stats and information that you may not be aware of or may have forgotten. But on the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series, we bring the past and bring it to its current state. Now, the image that you're looking at right now is the first edition of the Ring magazine, February 15th, 1922. I have every Ring magazine known to man, everyone, all over the countries. But this is the first actual magazine that was created by Nat Flasher and his Ring magazine collection. Now, you may not see the images that I'm showing you right here, right now, but Tex Rickard, who was the creator of the American market and a premier promoter. You see your bottom left. And to your bottom right is Lord Lonsdale, who was the creator of the European boxing market. And he was the premier promoter before Mickey Dove. So let's get right into it. Phil Bloom faced Charlie Gorman 10 times. Charlie Gorman was the manager of Rocky Marciano. Johnny Dundee faced Willie Jackson 11 times. If you want to learn more about Willie Jackson, type in Scrapbook Boxing Willie Jackson. I go through his career with you. As for Johnny Dundee, he was known as the Scotch Wop. I have him ranked number 9, collectively, with Benny Leonard and Tony Canzoneri. Johnny Dundee faced Benny Leonard 8 times. And he was a rope dancer, the best of it. He would sit on the second strand of the rope, hook either foot on the bottom strand. He would have his neck on the top strand. He would ride the ropes. We shoulder roll, half moon, parry, catch and shoot, spinner's man, outstanding fighter, and rope dancer was Johnny Dundee. Battling Levinsky and Jack Dillon fought one another 10 times. They were both light heavyweight champions. Holman Williams and Coco Kid would face each other 14 times. Coco Kid would defeat him 9 times. Have Coco Kid rated the greatest Puerto Rican fighter of all times, and the third greatest black murderous road fighter, of Charlie Burley number 2 and Holman Williams number 1. As for Holman Williams, who would face Charlie Burley 7 times, there were split victories 3-3 with 1 draw. Benny Leonard was known as the Ghetto Wizard. He would face Phil Bloom 8 times. Benny Leonard would face Johnny Dundee 8 times. He was 7.5-year champion, the same as Larry Holmes. And the man with the most knockouts, 138. His name was Billy Berg. But he can't compare with 132, Archie Moore, because Archie Moore fought from middleweight to light heavyweight, had 1 heavyweight championship fight, and that was with Rocky Marciano in 1955. But Archie Moore fought the most black murderous road fighters and had 7 knockouts with them. He was phenomenal. Number 3, I have Young Stribling, 129. Sam Langford, 128. Let's stop right there for one moment. Sam Langford fought from featherweight to heavyweight, had over 100 heavyweight fights. And he was the first and only black fighter, and fighter in general, to face the first black lightweight champion in Joe Gans in 1903. He defeated Joe Gans, but it was not for the title. Joe Gans was a champion at that time. Joe Gans had came from Philadelphia 1 day before that fight. He went to Boston to meet Sam Langford. And he fought Dave Holly, who was the king of the shoulder roll. Sam Langford was the only fighter to face the first black welterweight champion. And that was the Barbados Demon, Joe Walcott. The only black fighter to face the first black middleweight champion. And although he wasn't middleweight champion at the time, but he became the first black middleweight champion in Madison Square Garden when he defeated Harry Greb in 1926. His name was Theodore Tiger Flowers. And Sam Langford was the first black and the first fighter to fight the first black heavyweight champion, Jack Johnson, in 1906. He fought the Barbados Demon in 1904. Incredible stuff. So keep that in mind, 128 knockouts. And he fought over 100 heavyweights in his career. Number 5, you have Joe Sandy Sadler, 103. Number 6, you have Ray Robinson, an Alabama kid. He tied with 109. Number 7, I have Henry Armstrong, 101, and Joe Gans, 100. These are incredible stats. In the heavyweight, you have Primo Carnera with 69. He ties with Ernie Shavers. Number 3, I have George Foreman with 68. Henry Armstrong, 5 title fights, 1939, in the month of October. The only fighter to have 3 world championship title reigns simultaneously, and he did it in 9 months. He had 19 welterweight title defenses. Remarkable stuff there. 1937, and I want to bring something to your attention here. Edwin Verlero was 100% in his knockout ratio. He had 27-0 with 27 knockouts in his career. R.I.P. to him. But Henry Armstrong in 1937 was 27-0 with 26 knockouts in 1 year alone. And in that same year, he would pick up the featherweight championship belt from Petey Cerrone. And he would be the first black featherweight champion from America in 1937. He would also face Benny Bass, who was a former junior lightweight champion. He had his title taken from Kid Chocolate. So Henry Armstrong was remarkable. Deontay Wilder had 42 wins, 41 knockouts. Now, in 1958 to 1960, Lamar Clark had 44 KOs with 44 fights. He was 100% in his knockout ratio. Did that in 2 years. Now, I call it my 52 knockout club. Lou Jenkins, Rocky Graziano, Marvin Hagler, Joe Louis, Ezra Charles, Mike Mateague, Philadelphia Jack O'Brien. They all have 52 knockouts. 51 knockout club. Kid Chocolate, Abe Attell, Jimmy Slattery. The Jimmy Slattery was from Buffalo. Had an outstanding fight with Dave Shade, who was a light heavyweight. Arturo Godoy from Chile. Packer McFarlane. Marco Antonio Rubio. Jorge Paez. These are my 51 knockout club. 55 knockout club, you have William Gorilla Jones. You have Dixie Kid and Freddie Mills. Charles Kid McCoy. 55 knockout club. Now, 56 knockout club, you have Theodore Tiger Flowers, George Compartier, Pedro Martinez. I mean, remarkable stuff here. Ted Kid Lewis for Jack Britton 20 times. Charlie Burley had faced Archie Moore 2 times. Archie Moore faced Ezra Charles 3 times. Ted Kid Lewis and Jack Britton had some great wars. Sam Langford, Harry Wills faced one another 22 times. Sam Langford defeated Harry Wills twice. Harry Wills defeated Sam Langford 6 times. Sam Langford faced Jeff Clark, Joplin Ghost 11 times. He faced Sam McVeigh 15 times, battling Jim Johnson 11 times. He defeated battling Jim Johnson 9 times of the 11. The rest of no decisions. Jack Johnson had faced Joe Jeanette 10 times. Henry Armstrong faced Baby Aris Menzies 6 times. They split victories 3-3. And Baby Aris Menzies would collect the New York SAC Featherweight Championship 1932, but he would lose his Mexican and California Championship to Henry Armstrong. Harry Greb faced Jeff Smith 7 times. Benny Leonard faced Johnny Dundee 8 times. Harry Greb faced FaZe Kaiser 9 times. Sam Langford fought the first black lightweight champion, welterweight, middleweight, heavyweight champion. Now, the longest title reign was Jimmy Wild, the flyweight division. December 18th, 1916, June 18th, 1923, 6 years and 8 months. Johnny Kilbane, featherweight champion, February 22nd, 1912. February 2nd, 1923. Yeah, Benny Leonard, 7.5 years, same exact amount of time as Larry Holmes. May 28th, 1917. January 15th, 1925. The 19-loss middleweight championship club. Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta, Dick Tiger, and Iran the Blade Barkley. Reggie Strickland had 276 losses, 66 wins. The longest undefeated winning streak, 50-0 with 27 knockouts, goes to Floyd Mayweather, 1996 to 2017. Most knockdowns, battling Nelson versus Christy Williams. And Christy Williams went down 42 times and Nelson went down 7 times. A total of 49 knockdowns. It was Hot Springs, 17 rounds. Joe Jeanette versus Sam McVeigh. 49 rounds, 38 total knockouts. Paris, France. Joe Jeanette went down 27 times. And Sam McVeigh went down 11 times. Double knockdowns. Mexican Joe Rivers. He weighed 133 pounds. At Wargas, 130 pounds. Referee was Jack Welch, who also, by the way, refereed Jack Johnson and Jess Willard in 1915, Cuba Havana. July 4th, 1912, Wargas KO'd Mexican Joe Rivers in the 13th round. It was scheduled for 20. It was at Vernon Arena in Vernon, California. Both men went down. And Jack Welch had helped up Ad Wargas as he was counting out Mexican Joe Rivers. Incredible. November 28, 1906, Philadelphia Jack O'Brien had faced heavyweight champion Tommy Burns. He lost to Tommy Burns. April 25th, 1906, Sam Langford had faced heavyweight champion for the colored heavyweight championship division. And that was Jack Johnson. He was 20 years old. He gave up 40 pounds in facing Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was 28 years old. Fought at the Lincoln AC in Chelsea, Massachusetts. And what's incredible about that August 15th, 1911, 20th Century Club, Sam Langford would face Philadelphia Jack O'Brien, and he would stop him in 3 rounds. Now, Tommy Burns had given Philadelphia Jack O'Brien an opportunity in 1906, which was the same year that Jack Johnson had faced Sam Langford. But Sam Langford went the distance with Jack Johnson, and Philadelphia Jack O'Brien did not go the distance with Tommy Burns. But yet, Sam Langford never got a title shot. Amazing. The first boxer to wear gloves, 1818. First mouth guard, Ted Kid Lewis. They called it gum shields. Jim Corbett was the first to use the oxygen in a bout with Tommy Ryan, August 14th, 1903. 1909 in Paris, France, Joe Jeanette had to use a bag for oxygen. There was no law stating that he couldn't do it, but all hell broke loose when he did. First boxing movie, Gentleman Jim Corbett, Peter Courtney. First heavyweight standing 8 count was Floyd Patterson, Ingmar Johansson. First 3 knockdown rule was a fight that took place after Jimmy Carter, Tommy Collins. Flashing red lights took place in Madison Square Garden. From a fighter who couldn't hear. His name was Eugene Hairston, black fighter. And that's when that red blinking light was created. Now, Benny Leonard, in a no decision with Paul Doyle. Jack Johnson KOs Jim Jeffries, July 4th, 1910. What do they have in common? These fights took place Independence Day, 4th of July. Johnny Kilbane versus Oliver Kurt, July 4th, 1913. Ed Gumbo Smith knocks out Arthur Pursley, July 4th, 1914, San Francisco, California. It was for the White Heavyweight Championship. Yes, you heard me. See, during those days, they had the White Heavyweight Championship because they didn't want to give a black fighter an opportunity at their title. So you had the Colored Heavyweight Championships and you had the White Heavyweight Championships. Incredible. Richie Mitchell versus Johnny Kilbane, July 4th, 1916. Charles Bud Taylor knocks out Benny Vogel, July 4th, 1923. First round knockout. Jeff Smith knocks out Billy Kramer, 1919. Ted Kid Lewis knocks out Willie Downing, also in 1919. In that same year, you had Jack Dempsey knocking out Jess Willard. Incredible stuff here. So thanks for hanging in there with me. Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Like I say, everything that I tell you is at the top of the head. And it's just a passion that I have for the sport. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time. Peace.